McCrispy strips are now at McDonald's. Tender, juicy, and its own sauce. Would you look at that? Well, you can't see it, but trust me, it looks delicious. New McCrispy strips, now at McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Introducing Instagram teen accounts, a new way to keep your teens safer as they grow. Like making sure they've got the right gear for riding.
Knee pads.
Check.
And helmet.
Done. See you, Dad.
New Instagram teen accounts. Automatic protections for who can contact your teen and the content they can see.
You better not have no plans tonight.
Movie time and it's feeling right.
You're looking for a love that lasts.
You'll find it at Romancing the Podcast.
Ooh, ooh, baby, you had me at hello. Ooh, I love you.
I know.
Ooh, ooh, baby, you're the wind beneath my wings. Ooh, ah, I'll have what she's having.
Thank you for tuning into Romancing the Pod. You had us at hello. I'm Paige Wesley.
And I'm Todd Schlosser, and this week I made you guys watch the Richard Gere murder fest that is Unfaithful.
Todd, oh my God. Let's fucking get into it.
You brought a can for Foley. I love it.
Oh, there's some bad Foley in this movie. I'm so excited to talk about all of it. I have just been walking around my parents' house alone, screaming about this movie for the last 20 minutes while I waited for you to finish it.
To no
one. I've just been screaming about this movie and then repeating this one movie line that's stuck in my head from another movie that is filthy enough to get us demonetized on platforms. So, you know.
Well, now all I want to know is what that is. Like, you can't just sit on that.
Look, here's the thing. Everyone else on Earth has already seen this and knows what this is from, except you, because you've been so busy. Good for you. Good for being a good worker bee. But no, the line is, oh, I heard you loud and clear, but then you stuck your tongue in my coos and fucked me so hard, I thought you'd changed your mind. That's the line. It's been stuck in my head ever since I saw Sinners. Yes, I would spit in Michael B. Jordan's mouth if he asked. That's what's up.
Gross. So, Paige, what do you think about Unfaithful?
Oh, my God. Okay, first and foremost, I would like to read to you the text that I sent to Todd.
Oh, you're gonna reveal the text?
Yep.
I showed him to my wife, too, because it was very funny.
I sent this text at exactly 4:36 p.m. Pacific Standard Time today. I could get away with this murder. End text.
Paige, who's to say he doesn't get away with this murder?
The movie leaves it open-ended. We can absolutely discuss that at the end. I feel like you could argue both ways. I did think they were going to do something different at the end. I'll talk about it when we get there.
You thought there might be some sort of resolution whatsoever to the story?
No, you know what? Fuck it. I'll reveal it now.
Oh, wait, Paige. Did you think that they were going to go The Mist at the end? They were in a Jeep. They just kill the kid and then the mom and then himself. Oh my God, Paige! If as they're showing this, like the Jeep in front of the police station, you just hear and see 3 pops,
gunshots.
Oh my God, that would be an insane, and that's Remember Me levels insane.
No, okay, I thought they were gonna go City of Angels because they kept doing closest on the traffic lights, changing like red, yes, green. Red, green, and they're sitting at the intersection not paying attention to the lights.
Oh
and I thought he was going to be like, let's go home. And then like pull out into the intersection and just like semi-truck. Just like all 3 of them dead. Just like gone.
It's because we recently watched Pet Sematary 2 on...
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
But Paige, like, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but if this movie was Brave, it would have virtually the same ending as The Mist.
I mean, if this movie was Brave, they would have had them hit by a semi-truck. No, let me get into it. All right. First of all, this was the first time I'd ever seen this movie.
Same.
I do remember when it came out.
Same.
And it was, I will say, the 50 Shades of its day when it came out. Everyone was talking about Diane Lane. Everyone was excited. Everyone was like, this was the sexiest movie they'd ever heard of, except for Secretary or whatever. Everyone was like talking about this movie when it came out, but I was slightly too young to watch it when it came out. And then I forgot about it, except that anytime I search 365 or 50 Shades, they're like, have you tried Unfaithful? And boy, is this a different journey that I'm glad we took together today. Could this movie be 40 minutes shorter? 100%.
Yes, it definitely could. But should it be? No.
Well, the first act could be 15 minutes shorter because this movie is essentially a full act of them killing time and not quite showing sex scenes, and then a full second and part of a third act of just a murder mystery by someone who is the worst at committing murder, infuriatingly bad. And then 20 minutes of us being like, why is the movie still going? Like, either he gets caught or he doesn't, but we don't really
Paige, that is the question.
That is the question.
You're left with, hoping the movie will eventually answer it. And just like the original Italian Job, no, fuck you. Thank you for your money.
I think my favorite, like, here's how I would have ended this movie with her finding the photos and just looking at him across the house. Because there's a scene where he like peeks out from behind a cabinet. And my notes, I just have, she's next.
Paige.
I want her to find those photos and him to peek out behind the cabinet, fade to black. That's how we end this fucking movie. Cut 15 minutes off the end.
Paige, I have to suggest one small like acting note.
Let's go.
Right before it fades quickly to black, he lunges for her.
Oh, yes! I shouldn't be cheering for a woman's murder.
No, Paige, you don't know. The sequel could pick up right there and Diane
Right
Lane just
there.
stabs him in the face or whatever. But it ends just like that Liam Neeson movie, The Wolf or whatever, where it's like he's like gearing up to fight the wolf at the end, and it just like...
Yeah, where he's got the mini bar bottles on his hands. Yeah.
It's badass, but you know he does not last 30 seconds with that wolf.
No, probably not.
No, he's dead.
But like, oh my God. This movie's so fucking crazy that I'm just literally, this is the kind of conversation I've been pacing around the house having with myself. This movie's fucking... Who thought this was a good idea? Like, what? I'm so glad it exists.
Oh, yeah.
I'm so glad I've seen it. That's all I want to talk about now. I'm about to, after we finish recording, I'm going to dinner with my sister and her husband, and I'm absolutely going to just like shout at them for 20 minutes over Korean barbecue about what I just put in front of my eyeballs. So like, I don't even know.
Paige,
oh God.
I don't know. It just seems like if you're a French dude in America, like people are just like lining up to blow you. Like Diane Lane, that chick at the bookstore, The Wind, like everyone's just trying to blow you.
I think the chick at the bookstore might have been his ex-wife or his separated wife. The movie doesn't tell us. The movie doesn't tell us anything.
Oh my
Never
God.
has a movie told us so little and taken so long to do it.
Paige, it's an American-made movie. They're not going to care about a Frenchman. Come on.
Hey. To quote Cult Podcast, fuck the French.
I know, right? Because without them, we wouldn't be a country. Yeah, fuck the French.
Fuck the French.
Eat a dick, General Lafayette, for saving us in the Revolutionary War. Go fuck yourself. I hope you die before you have a revolution. Sorry, I know too much about history.
Hey, but also, wouldn't you love to be British right now instead of this?
Yeah.
Yep. But also, I think Diane Lane took fuck the French literally.
Honestly, she gave it to him. And I'll say this about the sex scenes. They're shot sort of sexy.
They're shot
like
great.
There's one shot where he's like taking off her jacket, I think, and it's not even like, they're not even having sex.
It's the base of her neck and her collarbone. That's the hottest shot in this fucking movie.
I agree. And she's like perspirating a little bit. Like it's not like a lot of sweat. It is like, woo, she is turning on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's buttering her baguette if you know what. Wait, no, she's buttering his baguette.
Yeah. Paige, you got to watch out when you're fucking a baguette because you might get a yeast infection.
Oh, no.
Somebody call Andrew Dice Clay. He wants his joke back.
Yeah.
I hated that.
Yep. But also the crumbs.
Wait, Paige, can I hit you with another unfaithful Andrew Dice Clay style joke?
Hickory dickory dock. Todd's gonna go for it.
You know you're having a bad day when you're washing your nethers on a moving train. Ma'am, it's not pubic transportation. That's like an Andrew Dice. That would be an Andrew Dice Clay joke for this, right? That would definitely be one.
I have it all caps in my notes. No, not train water in your pussy. Like, I was so appalled. I was so appalled.
No, not train water in your pussy. That's the correct way to respond to that scene.
No.
It is like sloshing around and she's shaking her cooch over a bowl the size of like a salad bowl full of water. That's just like sloshing around. I didn't even know you could wash your hands on a train.
I mean, you can, but I don't know that they're going to be cleaner.
And she's got her vagine in the sink.
Oh my God. This movie is so nuts. I thought we were going to have thoughtful conversations about infidelity today. No, there's so many other crazy things to talk about in this movie. And I have to outline the perfect crime. Like, I'm going to sound like a fucking psychopath. I've just watched too many crime shows. But like, how could he be the worst at this? This is an aggressively get away with-able crime.
Well, I mean, as long as the cops don't find out that your wife is fucking him, then yes, it is.
Or blame it on her. Pin the whole thing on her.
I don't think Diane Lane would kill a Frenchman.
Well, the petite more. the tiny death.
Now you're just talking about orgasms, Paige? Is that what you're really going to bring in, what the French call orgasms? Like, I'm not going to know that it means the little death. Paige, I am French. I have a French tattoo on my back of sorts.
Is that what you called when he left the cum there? Good for you.
Wee on my back, guys.
On your back.
No, it's like a fleur-de-lis. It's a variation on it, at least.
Yes.
But it's from my French side of the family. So I can say fuck the French because, you know. I mean, I don't know. I feel weird about that, too, because my family came over like late 1700s. So like, and it was north. We were in the north. So like, we're good. I mean, it was like New York and Canada. While Paige figures out her headphone issues and I just vamp for time. While I'm trying to like codedly say we never owned people.
I'm trying to avoid sound bleed. Yeah, well.
But yeah, my family came over here way too long ago for me to claim any sort of like heritage in a different country, you know? Like,
yeah.
But yeah, fuck the French, I guess.
I mean, it's what they're best at.
I mean, in this movie, listen, Diane Lane gave it all up for a dude that would go down on her. That is what we learned in this movie. She gave it all up.
I'm saying, this is where DJ Khaled be fucking up.
I know.
Oh my God. We got to just talk about this movie. I can't even vamp for longer. I don't even have more first thoughts. I'm just going to start screaming. So we just need to talk about I'm losing my mind, Todd. Todd, this movie broke me today.
You were just like walking around your room with red string, a cork board, and the photos that Diane Lane burned in this movie. And you're like screaming your brains out. Paige, can I just say this before we get started? Like, for two people who are having an affair, like presumably trying to hide it, they're going everywhere they're going to find an audience.
Right?
Like, they go to a diner, they go to like a movie. Why don't they just go catch Spring Awakenings on Broadway? Like, they're going to be seen in any of these places, and they just don't. They fuck in his hallway.
There's also, I mean, this movie it doesn't predate cell phones. People have them.
She has a Motorola StarTAC in this movie.
Yeah, which she doesn't use and pretends like she doesn't have for half the movie. But like, that is the only way at all that they get away with any of this for any point in time. Because like, either he would have found messages on her, but like, there's so many different ways to get caught now that like, the fact that they're so careless. And then when she's fucking him in the bathroom of that cafe, as if her friends aren't hearing it happen.
Yeah, I mean, I once sat close to the bathrooms at a Waffle House and heard someone aggressively shitting.
Yep.
So, like, I can only imagine they're going to hear Diane Lane's ass getting smashed against the, like, wall that they're on the other side of.
Yeah, like, who broke the soap dispenser? I fucking wonder. Like, you know, it's... Oh my God, this movie. How is this so famous? It's so crazy.
Paige, did Richard Gere take the clothes he murdered a man in to the dry cleaners?
No, he took the jacket from the day that he met the private detective to the dry cleaners.
Okay, that's right. He didn't go right from there to the murder. You're right. Okay.
No. He ditched the murder clothes in the bathroom of his son's school.
Wait, that's right. Oh my God, he washed himself off in the bathroom of his kid's school. He did bring the snow globe home though, so like
why?
He just
Why?
Paige, it's not a murder weapon. It's like a really romantic thing we want to reveal at the end, making it a very strange moment that you can't feel good because there's no one to like in this movie. Like the only characters are a dude having an affair with a woman who gets murdered, a woman having an affair, and a murderer. Those are the characters.
Todd?
Paige is now up and pacing the room, guys. She's walking more than I've ever seen her walk unless we were in person together.
Todd, when she reveals that snow globe is in the house, the fact that they do not immediately treat it like a fucking horror beat drove me insane. Because that's why the movie should end with like her with the photos and him like behind a cabinet. Yes, because like essentially she now in her house has like incontrovertible proof that she's like, I'm sleeping with a fucking murderer.
Oh, Paige, the moment when he wets his clothes and he like comes down there and he's like, Mommy, why are you up? I wanted her to like lean in real close and just be like, 'cause Daddy's a murderer. We have to get to the car immediately.
Yeah, no, she should have been like, baby, get up and I need you to get your teddy bear. We're going to go to grandma's, okay? But like,
I know, right?
Why is she? Because she's just like in the house like, did you hurt him? You did something, didn't you? And I'm like, bitch, you're next. Run.
He says, I didn't want to kill him. I want to kill you.
Run. But then also the reason her kid wakes up is because he wet the bed. And in my notes, I just have like father, like son. Run.
No, I think that, no. He's honestly just doing that because his parents are fighting and he can hear them and it's like hard on a child or whatever. And he also, it's a marker. It's fine. But yeah.
I apologize. I'm on the travel mic. This is a lot of screaming. This might be a little tough, but I'm so sorry. I can't this is what I've been doing for 20 minutes, Todd. Is like
Paige is literally still getting her steps in.
He's a murderer. She's in the house of the murderer.
I know, Paige. When he reveals that he killed him and she's just like, well, I guess he loves me. Like, I don't know what that, like, why would you stay? I mean, I get that she was doing something she shouldn't be doing. Yes.
Sure.
That's not murder. Like, those are two very different things that this movie treats like, it's the same.
Also, that shit is not equal.
That's what I'm saying. Yes.
And she is not an accomplice. She didn't participate in the murder.
No.
Bitch should go to the cops immediately.
Best case scenario, he does turn himself in and she can have a life.
Well, that's what I'm saying is like the second she sees that snow globe, she should be like, I got to get out of the fucking house. I got to get to the cops and just be like, hi, I was having an affair. Sorry about the affair. But then I'm pretty sure my husband killed that guy and it's the guy that you're looking for. And oh my God, please shelter me. I'm safe. Get the snow globe from my house. That has to be tied to it somehow because I know it shouldn't be there. Like,
well, because she gifted it to the guy that was murdered and now it's back at the house.
And now it's back at the house, which we never really saw her gift it. We just see that we see it gifted late. Like he picks it up when he goes to see him.
We see her pick it up at home.
Right.
But we don't see her actually give it to him.
Right.
It's just revealed there in the saddest scene in the movie.
Which is weird. Well, I would say the most interesting scene in the movie, though, because
me too.
That's my favorite part of the movie until he starts being bad at crime. Because like,
yeah, your notes for this movie is, why didn't he get away with it? I mean, fuck the French, am I right?
He could have gotten away with it. He could have framed her. He'd be better. Listen to more murder docs. But like that scene of the two of them, that kind of awkward meeting and him kind of filling in the gaps and like, that's a fascinating, interesting scene.
And it's really well acted. Like, I think Richard Gere, honestly, I think a lot of people do great in this movie, but like Richard Gere does a great job in that scene.
Yeah.
Like you just see how devastated he is. And like, I really do think like it is a like true like definition of heat of the moment murder. Like, I don't think he ever intended to do that. He even sort of like has, I would assume like a panic attack right before it happens.
A fugue state.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
something is like it's a lot for him to process, and he murders somebody, and it's sad. He shouldn't have done it, and he should go to jail. But like I do think that there's a difference between this and like planning something over months to kill somebody. You know? Like,
Yeah, well, and that's why there's two different types of murder charges.
yeah.
I gotta wait till we get to the crime to talk about how I'm like, this is aggressively get away withable. Like, you could 100% get away with this. Easy.
Well, in order for us to get there, we're going to have to start getting through this movie scene by scene, Paige.
Woo, okay, we open at their fancy house in what I would assume is Long Island, the place where many famous serial killers have been because, spoiler, the cops didn't fucking look that hard. And this is during the time when a bunch of those murders were happening. Remember that later in the movie when we talk about a murder.
Paige, there's like a documentary on
I know.
some of them on Netflix right now. I just watched it. I can't remember the name of it, but it was good.
I think it's called Gone Girls, but it's
That's
about the
the one.
Gilgo Beach killings, aka Lisk, Long Island serial killer,
Yep.
Rex Howerman. Now, the first thing I noticed about this movie is it's fucking Dewey from Malcolm in the Middle.
It is.
Is their kid.
It is, yeah.
Which, were you a Malcolm in the Middle person?
Yeah.
Okay, here's what I kept thinking through most of this movie. Recast and change nothing else. Like,
Just Malcolm in the Middle, but this movie, honestly,
Yes!
I think everyone could do it, and I would watch it.
I would watch the shit out of it.
Yeah.
I just kept, and I was like, oh my God.
Wait. Who plays like the sexy French dude? It doesn't have to be a French guy, but like who plays the affair partner in that version?
I think it's got to be Jason Lee or something like that. But like,
I have a weird pitch.
go for it.
Topher Grace.
Oh my Lord. Give it to me. Put it in my veins.
I don't know why.
You're right.
But Paige, I'm going to make him play French.
Oh, yeah, of course. But like, can you imagine the turn Bryan Cranston would have after the murder to be evil?
He'd be full Heisenberg, for sure.
Full Heisenberg.
Yeah.
I couldn't stop thinking about it. Also, if you go to watch this on Amazon, it spoils the ending for you, like immediately. It's like a couple with an affair and then a murder. And I was like, motherfucker, like, hey.
Yeah, it's a good thing I can't read because I did not see that coming at all.
I spoiled it for you on accident, thinking you were ahead of me.
Oh, you did sort of, but I still didn't know when you sent me that text that he was going to die.
Right.
I was so like shocked by that. But I had told Natalie, I was like, I don't know, it's like a weird place in the movie for this to be happening because there's like so much runtime left. So like
Right.
something's going to happen. So like maybe Richard Gere dies, maybe Paul dies, like maybe, I don't know, like something's going to happen. And then Richard Gere kills him and I'm like, oh my God, what the fuck?
What the fuck, man? We got to burn everything.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we open on kind of an average morning in their house where,
Yeah.
you know, he's debating stocks and Richard Gere seems a little dismissive, but that's the worst of it. I would say until he murders a guy, he's a pretty good husband.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like her responsibilities are stay-at-home mom coded responsibilities, right? And like, I mean, he eventually does learn to like pick up, you know, like a glass and wash it and, wash the floor in a snow globe, but it takes a murder for him to get there.
Yeah.
He just seems a little disconnected from like domestic duties, but he does go into the city and work every day and then take the train back. And it's like, they do seem like they're in love, but there's not a lot of like physical affection in their relationship, maybe. I don't know.
Well, I disagree with that. We see them have sex twice.
That's true. That's fair. Yeah. I mean, it's just like in this scene, they don't even like kiss goodbye, I think. But like, you're right. They do sort of like hold hands and like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and like they seem to like each other. They don't fight. They do have sex a couple times in this. In this scene is the weirdest Foley choice, a weird scene choice in general, but then also bonkers Foley. For some reason, the movie needed to include their son going and peeing.
Yes, Paige, it's for just a joke. Yeah, so the kid gets up and pees. And then like she's like, put the toilet seat up. And so midstream, he like pulls the seat up.
Meaning it gets pee everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, because pee just would go everywhere because you don't stop the stream when you're lifting it, right? So it like hits you see where it's going, right?
Yeah.
So like gross. But the Foley it's weird.
The Foley is the stream of a grown man.
It is. It's the stream from the Adam Sandler CD, The Longest Pee thing. You know what I'm saying? Like from forever ago back in the day.
He is a very, very small young boy, and
he's pissing like a horse.
He's pissing like a horse. It's like a super soaker full of pee.
Also, they're showing it.
Yeah, why do we need to see this? We don't see anything, like it's implied. There's no nudity or anything, but I'm like,
there's not, no.
Why is this included?
Paige, my point is they're showing it, but
yeah, why?
We can see he's not peeing.
Right.
So they're showing it and doing the Foley that he's peeing, but we can see he's not peeing. Well, I'm not saying they should have shown it. I'm saying that's an insane choice to me.
There's so many weird choices in that one little piece.
You could just not show it and do the Foley, and I'd get the joke because I'd hear it, you know?
Yeah.
And my brain could put together toilet seat lifted up, whatever.
Right.
Especially because she delivers the punchline of like, don't do it while you're peeing. Like, you don't need to show it. And so they show it.
Yeah.
And we hear it, but you can see he's clearly not. It's insane. It's insane, Paige.
It's crazy. And those are the minds that bring you the rest of this film.
All of this happens 2 minutes into the movie.
Yes.
At no point in the filmmaking do you think I'm in good hands. So it's like risky the whole movie. Anything could happen.
Yeah, anything could happen. Now, if you think that was the last bonkers mistake to happen, just wait 2 minutes because she goes into the city and it is hurricane level winds.
Like they get in New York all the time.
All the time.
It's blowing in like many different directions. Like it's all over the place.
It's all over the place. And they spend like 15 minutes of just her being blown everywhere on the street. But if you look in the background behind her, no one else is experiencing wind.
I know, Paige. You'll see people like further down the street. And of course they're like out of focus, but they're just like standing there. Yeah. Like not shit's happening. And it looks like she's in a wind tunnel that tests jet engines.
Yes. And here's the thing that got me that I couldn't stop laughing at it. I was losing my mind because she's on the sidewalk in the foreground. She's in a wind tunnel.
Yes.
Behind her is a street that runs perpendicular to the street that she is on. And it's a tree-lined brownstone street in New York, or I would assume a backlot in Los Angeles. And it's full of trees. None of the trees are moving, and no one else's clothes or anything is blowing. It's literally like she has an isolated tornado blowing her towards this man's baguette. And then he is walking with a comically big stack of books.
Yes. So many books, you wouldn't be able to like hold them in a windstorm. It's too many books.
It's too many books. It's too many books without a windstorm. But here's where they get their breeze cute because the wind is so powerful. It blows them together and then they fall and then they like collect all their stuff. But she scraped her knees. And he's like, why don't you come up to my apartment? I can get you some Band-Aids or whatever. Very Notting Hill. Which I think is also why he offers her orange juice at one point.
It could be. But either way, like the Greek god of wind or whatever just wants them to be together. So like he concocted this windstorm to like make it happen. Like it doesn't make any sense because nobody else in New York felt it windy that day.
Yeah. Lo Breezius in his mighty wisdom doth decreed this one street to be so breezy. Like it's nuts.
It's probably something like Oleus or something like that. I don't know.
Hold on. Let's look it up.
I don't know. I learned them all back in the day, but I can't remember. It's been forever.
Who's the god of wind? Anemoi.
Anemoi?
The gods of the wind. It's multiple gods.
Oh, okay.
The four main wind gods are Boreas for the north, Zephyrus for the west, Notus for the south, and I'm guessing this is pronounced Eurus, Eurus for the east. Their Roman counterparts are Aquilo, Favonius, Auster, and Vulturnus, respectively.
Well, there you go.
There you go. I'm going to say it was Vulturnus because his name sounds the closest to vulva. Because that's what the wind blows up against this other man is just like, it kind of like two Barbie dolls with a child pushing them together like kith, but it's the wind.
I mean, it actually is a lot like that.
Yeah. She does go upstairs.
Because of course she does.
I mean.
But she'll come back to this moment when her life is crushed. And she blames herself for other people's actions.
No, not only that, it's almost like the movie is saying once she burns these photos, it's like it never happened. It's like she didn't make any of these choices.
Yeah, I mean, when she burns the photos, I think it's like, okay, maybe they're going to try and get away with it, but there's too much evidence all over their place now. But, I mean, who knows? I do think the movie has the morality of a Tyler Perry play.
I mean...
So, like, it wants it to be all her fault at all times. So, like, it's sort of, like, mixed, but yeah.
But it doesn't, at least not in this part of the movie, because in this part of the movie, it's the wind's fault. Because we don't see anything really wrong with her marriage. We don't know enough about her to know why she would do this. Because, like, we don't even know, like, we don't even find out that she maybe wanted to live or previously lived in the city until 2 acts into this movie when her husband says it. But the movie tells us fuck all about her and who she is and who her friends are and who anything, right? So we don't know. So the movie wants to have it both ways. They want to have their cake and eat it too.
Just like Diane Lane.
They want to have this idea of happenstance and whimsy and serendipity brings these people together and there's nothing she could do about it. But also, and this is something we deal with anytime there's a movie with infidelity where it's this idea of like, oh, fate brought this person into your path. It's like, well, you still have to choose.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I don't know, that doesn't like fix it for me. Every time they're having sex, it's like not super sexy. Like, because they're just a fair partner. I don't know. It isn't sexy to me because they're cheating, you know? Like,
I mean, there are sexy there are things that are
sexy about it, but it's ruined by the fact that like she's cheating on her husband or there's an affair going on, honestly.
Here's the thing. Part of the reason why it's ruined by the affair is because Richard Gere's not a villain.
Yeah, he's like a good guy. Yeah.
He's like a regular dude, right?
Yeah, I think he works a lot, and I think she might feel a little neglected because of that. But he's not a bad guy, you know? It's not like he's beating her or even yells at her. He seems kind of sweet, honestly.
He seems very sweet, and he's there most nights.
Yeah, I mean, we do see her, like, come in and talk to him, and he's, like, still working at his home office. And so, like,
sure.
That's why I got maybe that's the reason she's sort of having the affair, because the movie doesn't really give us one.
They don't give us one. Now, here's the thing. I'm not saying that you have to have a reason. Sometimes the reason is you made a selfish choice.
That's what this movie is, yeah.
But the movie like refuses to put it that way until the very end. The movie treats it like it's whimsy until Act 3 when they're like, you chose to throw your whole life away.
I know, it feels very like Tyler Perry like at the end of the movie because it really points at Diane Lane and blames her for like the murder and the situation her husband is in for committing the murder.
He commits the murder and she is immediately viewed as an accomplice. That's fucking nuts. Like, that's so crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Although this coming from the person who said, I mean, I could have easily just framed the wife for the murder.
I could have absolutely framed her for it. Look, I'm not saying that my way is moral. I'm just saying if you want to stay free, you better keep your head on a swivel. And he ain't. He didn't think about this at all.
Page 2028. If you want to stay free, keep your head on a swivel. I'd vote for that.
I mean, I could never run for office. Not with the things I've said to people on video.
Page, run? No.
Steal? Maybe. Frame for murder? Definitely.
Yeah.
I'll get him.
Who?
Hey, how'd this beautiful Frenchman end up dead in the Oval Office? Seems like there's only one person who could have done it.
I'm in the back as a coroner, just like, he died from acute sat on face too much.
Where are we ever going to find the murder weapon? Anyway, so they have the brisket. They go upstairs. His apartment is the biggest apartment in New York I've ever seen.
His apartment's an out-of-business bookstore, Paige. Like, what the fuck is this? It doesn't make sense. There are shelves in it like it's a used travel bookstore, but it just like no one goes into it because it's an apartment. But the lights are always off.
Yeah.
It's so strange.
He opens the door to that apartment and they might as well have been like, there's something sweet and almost kind that he was mean.
When he was tapping it from behind.
It is the Beauty and the Beast library. It's fucking insane. It's very cool, but he's got them like stacked everywhere and he's like, I'm a book dealer. And I'm like, that's barely a thing anymore.
Paige, I have a pretty dark thought.
What's your dark thought?
Chip from Beauty and the Beast is just what Paul becomes at the end of this movie. He got hit on the top of the noggin, Paige.
Oh, no.
I like that you didn't get my joke the first round, but you got it on the tag.
I did, but I hadn't thought about the head part. But you're right. But I was thinking, I was like, what if people turned into the objects that murdered them and he's just a talking snow globe and the police are like.
But he's like a sex pest snow globe because like Lumiere is also a sex pest in Beauty and the Beast.
But
I get it. Listen, she's wearing a French maid's outfit. So like, and have you seen those bristles? I don't know. She's like a dustbuster. I don't know. What can I say about that?
She's a duster. She's a feather duster.
Summer's here, and Mint Mobile is bringing the skimpy to your wireless bill, which honestly would have been a lifesaver for that poor woman in 50 First Dates. You know the one. She wakes up every morning with no memory of the day before, and this guy out here is just building waffle log cabins and faking car accidents to try and make her fall in love with him every single day. Like, bro, that's not sweet. That's like a huge red flag umbrella on the beach. Instead, she wakes up married, kidnapped, and carrying, all while floating through international waters like she's married to a Bond villain. If she had Mint Mobile, Samwise could have sent her a quick, "Don't trust the dude in cargo shorts" text, or at least she could have checked her group chat and realized she's in the middle of a rom-com horror story. Plans start at just $15 a month and come with high-speed data, unlimited talk and text, and coverage on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone, keep your number, and save your wallet, and possibly your dignity. So avoid the emotional and financial manipulation and get your summer savings at mintmobile.com/romancingthepod. That's mintmobile.com/romancingthepod. Upfront payment for $45 for 3 months, 5 gigabyte plan required, equivalent to $15 a month. New customer offer for first 3 months only, then full price options available. Taxes and fees extra. See Mint Mobile for details.
Anyway, she goes to his bathroom. She accidentally drops his aspirin in the toilet. There's a whole bunch of toilet stuff in the beginning of the movie. I don't understand why. I don't know what their toilet obsession is. But then she like cleans the aspirin off and puts it back. I'm like, nah, bitch, throw that bottle away. It been in toilet.
You know that famous JFK speech, "Ich bin in toilet"?
It's been in, what? Ask not.
That's a different JFK speech, Paige.
If your pills have been in the toilet, ask if the toilet's been in your pills.
That's the question, though, because did it break the seal when the Tylenol fell?
Don't
If it
care.
didn't, they're probably good, Paige. You didn't grow up poor enough to know. Sometimes Tylenol falls in toilets, and you just gotta make do.
I mean, I have had Tylenol fall in a toilet, and I've been like, I ain't chancing this. And like,
I mean, but my point is, did the toilet water touch the pills themselves? If no, you good. If yes, throw away.
I would say unless it's literally a brand new, like never opened, that's the only way you have any chance of not getting some contamination in there.
Guys, reach out to us on social media. I gotta know. Like, okay, so like if you dropped a bottle of aspirin in the toilet and it does not crack the seal, so water does not get down into the pills, are you still taking those pills? Yes or no? Reach out, because I want to know.
Anyway, she gets Band-Aids. He makes her some tea. And she seems kind of flustered by him, but also I'm like, yeah, girl, you in a stranger's apartment, head on a swivel. He could kill you at any time. And he does say, I'm not an axe murderer.
He does say that to get her to go up there, yeah, which also, like, if someone says that to you while you're still on the street, remain on the street. Do not go to a secondary private location with that person.
I think the movie, oh my God, I can't believe I'm about to say what I'm about to say. But the movie replays that line later in her flashback.
Yeah. As if to say, I'm not an axe murderer, I'm a snow globe victim.
Well, almost to say, I'm not a murderer like your fucking husband. Almost to be like, I'm the good guy. And he aggressively is not. But like, this movie full of villains.
There's no good people in this movie at all.
Just Dewey. Just Dewey.
Sweet pasta strainer on his head, Dewey.
And he does look like Dewey the whole time.
Paige, it's surprisingly enough the same actor. Like, it is Dewey.
I mean, but like pasta strainer on the head, like weird coat, like the level of weird that Dewey was.
Paige, they might as well have just shot this on the set as Malcolm in the Middle. Like, he looks exactly like he's playing the same thing. Like, it's the same thing.
I was just waiting for him just to be in the background of a scene, just like boo, 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 boo. I can't describe how disconcerting and funny it is if you did not watch Malcolm in the Middle for you to watch this movie and have it be a serious, tense scene about an affair, and then to have Dewey wander through and be like, Mom, where's my sandwich? And you're just like, what is happening? Anyway, he gives her a book, and he knows exactly where the book is. He knows the passage. He like recites it to her, and he's clearly hitting on her.
Paige, okay, this is he's got so many books in this apartment.
Yes!
And you want me to think he has every book location and page, verse, all of that like memorized? No, Paige, this is the one book he's ever heard of,
100.
and that's the one passage from it. We never see him read anything in this movie. I'm not sure he can.
Just like Leah Michelle. I don't think he can read.
I don't know about Leah Michelle, but I'm pretty sure Paul can't read. He claims to be like literate. I don't know that he is.
One of my favorite internet rumors is that Leah Michelle can't read.
I have heard that. I don't know if it's true, but like I've heard the internet rumors.
Jonathan Groff came out like earlier this year and he's like, I've seen her read, you guys. And I'm like, I don't believe it.
That's what you would say. Speaking of Spring Awakenings, they were both in that, right?
Yeah. That's that I want to say is like her first. It might be both of their first big ones.
I think it was one of their big breaks. Yeah.
Oh, man. Anyway, she leaves and gets into a taxi and goes home.
Right. Having honestly gotten out of there without doing anything that could get her in a lot of trouble, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he does like sort of sexily put a like ice pack on her knee.
Yeah.
Which I guess is sweet, but she doesn't have the bruises yet. But you know.
Right. You could consider it before care, where he's like, you're going to need these knees to feel good later.
Right. Or just put a pillow down. Don't be an animal, guys. Come on.
Get some knee pads.
Yeah. Or just a pillow. Like, put a pillow down. It's the least you can do, gents.
I mean, but like, you don't want it. What if there's no pillow handy? You should always have knee pads. Okay, but here's my thing. Because he pursues her in this scene, obviously, right? She leaves. All she had to do was never speak to him again.
Yeah.
Never call, never anything. Nothing bad in this movie happens.
I mean, if she just didn't take that book home, the book he has probably 90 of, because this is his move.
You think he just replaces copies every time?
Yeah. No, Paige, all of the books on the shelf are that book. That's how he knew whichever one she grabbed would be the one. He has one book and he's never read it because he can't read. And I know what you're saying. Doesn't he read Braille later? Do you think Diane Lane reads Braille? He could be making all that shit up.
I think he was making that shit up.
I don't think he can read.
Just like the Beast.
The Beast could read. He was just the Beast.
No, Belle teaches him to read.
That man was a prince and he could not read?
It's a story point. She teaches him to read.
Did he forget in like the man to beast process?
No, I think he was just so rich he didn't have to.
That checks out. But somebody call Rigoletto, because I'm going to need like a source material update as to whether that's actually the case. But like,
I think it's only in the Disney version. I don't
Fair enough.
necessarily
Okay.
think this is but in the Disney one,
Yeah.
I know she teaches him to read.
Jesus Christ.
He has a whole library. Man got a whole library.
Can't read a lick. I mean, just like this guy. Wait, do you think Richard Gere killed the Beast? So like, wait, hang on. Is he the Beast and he is separated from Belle? And that's why he's here and not in France? And then Richard Gere killed him?
Wait a second.
Hang on. I have to take a minute. I don't know if I can handle the fact that Richard Gere killed the Beast 6 months or so after he transferred into being human and Belle kind of wasn't into it anymore. So they get separated and he comes to America on his fuck tour.
I have something even crazier to introduce into evidence, Your Honor.
How is that possible?
Because you're right. He's a prince. Why wouldn't he be able to read? And so I Googled it. I'm like, can the Beast can't read. It's like part of the song is that like she's teaching him to read. And now, admittedly, this is the AI overview, but it's pulling it from the Disney wiki on the Beast. Quote, the Beast can read, but his claws and fangs make it difficult for him to hold books and turn pages.
What? I'm sorry. Hang on. So actually, she didn't teach the Beast to read. She told him how to hold a book.
I don't even think it's that. I think she's just holding the books for him.
Okay, but he has servants, guys. Like, why are you having your wife do that? Like, come on.
Wait, okay. There's one theory that the beast doesn't exist at all and is a figment of Belle's imagination. We can't get into that right now. But
we can't get into that because we're not doing that movie. Although I think technically we can because it's about a love story or technically Stockholm Syndrome. But yeah.
Yeah, it is my favorite Disney movie. But
of course it is, Paige.
yeah, right?
You bookie bish.
Bookie bish with a hairy, shouldery love partner.
Do you like the shoulders to be hairy? That seems whatever.
I'm open on that.
In our premise off, you went with the beast couldn't read and not the Richard Gere murdered the beast 6 months after he transitioned into being a human again. That's the one you wanted to dig deep on?
I'll dig deep on that in a second because I do have thoughts, but I just want to say that there's a conflicting fan theory that he was, as a young French prince, he only learned to read a little before being turned into a beast. So he was like turned into a beast so young he didn't finish learning to read.
Oh, he was so young when he didn't let that lady in. She turned him into a cub?
I don't know. But, okay, if Richard Gere killed the beast, if that were to happen, if we're making that movie, let's say we make that fucking movie, Todd, right? We got the first 30 pages right here, right?
Paige, there are tons of movies about the French Revolution. We all know how it happened. Like, the prince was turned human.
Right,
and
right.
Richard Gere killed the king.
Right, but then I want his body to turn back into the beast on the ground. And then for Richard Gere to be like, what the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck kind of giant beast was fucking my wife? Did I get cucked by an animal? What is happening? Like, it's a whole extra layer of madness.
Honestly, it would be way funnier if he turned back into the beast and he goes, oh shit, no, I get it.
I get it.
Yeah, you know he could fuck like a beast then. You know, like he has to.
Yeah, he's like a 19 neck.
And that was dick neck size.
Yes. Her hips are broken.
Paige, where did we even leave off? We went deep this tangent. I'm sorry, chat.
Where does this movie leave off? Anyway, okay, so
Scene 2.
she goes home. She's, tending to her knees. And she basically tells the story and kind of leaves out just a few portions of it where she's like, it was so windy. I scraped my knee. A guy helped me get a taxi. And that's all she says about it.
Yeah. And it was very much like honest, but like there was no mention of like him at all, really, just that he existed. And Richard Gere even sort of was like, oh, was he hot? Like,
yeah,
like kind of like joking around, sort of like you would if you were like not at all concerned your wife would do this, you know?
Oh, my husband would absolutely ask me that.
Yeah. Just like being silly.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
We also see Richard Gere unpacking a camera and they're like playing around with it, but also getting sexy.
Oh, yeah. But he, like a rookie, puts it down right before they start having sex.
Right?
Like an idiot.
I was like, guys, make a tape.
I mean, if you do that, you put it on the tripod.
Yeah, but I don't think he bought the tripod. He didn't think that far ahead.
The camcorders of the day were too big to like hold. You can't, it's like, it's not like it's your phone. Yeah.
Yeah. This never comes back, by the way. Like, not even a little bit.
Paige, what if what he found was them fucking on cassette?
He's just going through a bunch of mini DV tapes and just like rewinding.
Yeah.
He has the VHS converter where you pop the center out and you put the tape in it.
I think it was like the DV, yeah, like little cassettes, right? Yeah.
Yeah, the little cassettes. You like pop the cassette into your VHS and then watch it.
You had to have like those converters.
Oh my God.
So dumb.
But they get interrupted by their kid who can't sleep. And he's like, I'm going to go put him back to bed. I'll be right back. And we cut away. I would assume they still had sex that night.
She seemed into it, and it did kind of seem, because of what happened, like she was all flooded up from the day, with Paul. And so she wanted to get a little D,
Yeah.
But I mean, that's her. I mean, I'm not going to get mad at her for having sex with her husband.
No, of course not. And hey, everybody fantasizes about stuff sometimes. Whatever. Like, who cares? Nothing has gone wrong yet.
No, I would say that she had a close call, but got out of it without doing anything that she would regret.
Yeah. I would say that the grossest part of this movie is about to happen. We literally immediately cut to the next day. Her kid is like, where's my lunch, Mom? And he is chewing like, okay, when during the plague, a bunch of rats get tangled into like one rat ball.
Oh, you're talking about the Rat King? Yeah, he's like a rat king?
Yeah, a rat king. He had like a rat king of starbursts in his mouth. Like he had like 6 of them all into like one giant like log of starburst. And she's like, what's in your mouth? Spit it out. And she has him spit it out. She walks him to the door and is like, have fun at school. And then she just pops that shit into her mouth like it's not the grossest, weirdest thing ever.
I mean, it was kind of like a funny scene. Like she like robbed candy from her kid and then ate it herself. She literally takes candy from her baby in this movie, and they want me to like her.
I mean, and here's the thing. I have enough friends with kids that I know sometimes you just steal things from your kids and eat it. I know, like, kids don't finish their grilled cheese, you finish it. I get that. I get it.
That doesn't bother me at all. The thing that bothered me about that scene, it was a candy that was at all somewhat close to Now and Laters that I famously hate. I hate them.
Really?
Although Starbursts I could have. Yeah, Now and Laters are the worst.
Tell me why you hate Now and Laters, because I really enjoy them.
I don't know. It feels like somebody cut up a doorstop and is trying to sell it to me as candy.
That's fair. Hey, I can't argue with you. Maybe I just like the taste of doorstops. That's something I should cover in therapy. But you, no notes. Anyway, I just, in all caps, I'm like, no, why does she eat it? Like, no. Anyway, she picks up the book that he gave her the day before, and his card falls out.
Yeah.
And one would assume it has his number.
I assumed it was a dick pic, honestly. Like, it seems like a French dude move. The kind of French dude who is just crashing at his friend's place because he's, I guess, just homeless, kind of.
I think he's just European.
Yeah.
Like, here's the thing. I've been to Europe a lot. And first of all, y'all love hostels. I mean, it's like you've never seen the movie. But like, also, that seems to be a thing that is just not as prevalent in American culture, of just like, oh, my friend has multiple houses and they're living in this other one, so I'm staying here and we'll just move and do whatever. Like, in America, we have subletting and stuff, which essentially what he's doing. He's subletting, but it doesn't seem to be any sort of lease agreement. He's just kind of hanging out there.
Yeah.
But that's like, house swaps and stuff seem way more common over there than here.
Yeah. I think that it's like maybe just his cover story, so he doesn't have to explain that, like, listen, for the last, like, I don't know, 18 years or so, I was a beast, and then 6 months ago, I got transitioned into a human, and technically, I rule all of France.
Yeah.
But, like, my wife kicked me out, and I'm here on a bang tour.
Right, and definitely don't go to the east wing of this apartment. There's rats.
There's a rat king over there.
There's a rat king over there. It's made of Starburst.
And whatever you do, don't kiss him.
But, I mean, he's so sexy. He's got a French accent.
What? Okay, if the Rat King was like a beast type character, when you like fell in love with it, does it turn into like the King of Belgravia? Like what country is it?
Yeah, haven't you seen the Nutcracker?
I have seen the Nutcracker, although it's been a few years. I don't remember the Rat King transformation sequence, but...
He turns into a prince.
I think he turns into the Nutcracker, technically, Paige. Like, the titular Nutcracker.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think he wants to put his nuts on her titular. You know what I'm saying? Oh, my God. My brain is mush. Anyway.
Oh, God.
She goes all the way into the city, or at least to the train station, and calls from a payphone.
Yeah, because she knows she's about to dick down a French dude.
Yeah.
And she doesn't want that phone record on her, like, phone bill. But, like, later in the movie, she's just calling him from home at all hours of the day. Like,
at all hours.
Yeah. So, like, I understood why she did this at first. And then she just like, well, I guess if we're going to fuck in a movie theater, I may as well just call him from home.
Well, and this is the era of landlines.
Yes.
Which means that, like, on your phone bill, it would say the number. So it'd be like, who the fuck you calling every day?
Yeah, it would. Be like, damn, you're on the phone a lot to this one number in Soho.
Yeah.
For like 3 hours a day.
Yeah. Soho.
What's up?
What's up? She finds a quarter in the coin return, which I think the movie is like, it's a sign.
It's not a sign.
Yeah, it's not. And then she calls and gets his voicemail. And I think she's like, okay, well, but then he picks up.
Right.
And so she's like, hey.
How badly did you want it to still be like a continuation of the answering machine? Like it was like the answering machine. And then he like recorded a practical joke. Yes, exactly.
Fooled you.
Yeah.
Yes.
That shit would have made me laugh.
He picks up. And so she's like, hey, it's the lady from the other day. And he's like, oh, come see me. Rude, presumptive, entitled. He doesn't know what she's doing with her day.
I think he knew. I think so.
Yeah, he caught the vibes.
Paige, he used to be a beast. He can sense an animal instinct. You know what I'm saying? Paige, Richard Gere kills the beast in this movie.
And when we touched, she didn't shudder at my paw. No, it can't be. I'll just ignore. But then there's Richard Gere and blood all on the floor. Oh, man. Anyway, she goes to his house. He's going to make her coffee. But this is definitely her, like, testing the waters.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Oh, yeah.
Of, like, do you want to take off your coat? Whatever. He gets her coffee. She doesn't drink it, and she gets out of there immediately.
This is the Braille scene, though, and that's the way they break the touch barrier, right?
Because they're holding hands, yes.
Yeah, and like he is holding her hand on the Braille, and he's just making up some story about chicken that he's clearly not reading because both he cannot read because Paige.
With her hands.
Right.
Because he's holding her hands.
Right. And I get that he could technically see the Braille, but that's not how Braille works.
Right.
So, like, I don't know. Whatever. Like, my point is he cannot read. We have no evidence that he can read, and we famously know the Beast couldn't read. So, like, guys.
Because of the talons.
This man is separated from his French wife and is in America. Like, he's definitely the Beast.
Oh, God.
He just knows that a lady will open up for a book. Like, he picks up the other chick at the library. He's a book-based beau.
Look, I finished the laundry earlier today where I washed the shirt I bought at Flutter that just has like a lady crying and it just says crying over book boyfriends. So like, you ain't wrong.
Apparently, if you're looking for love, just go hang out at a bookstore.
Yeah, dude.
You see anyone in the romance section that remotely attracts you, just roll up and be like, you come here often?
Hey, girl, you want gush? You want that gush? You want to smash? You want to smush?
Just hang out at the Barnes & Noble's gush section.
Nah, Barnes & Noble's romance section is trash. You got to go find yourself an indie romance bookstore.
Oh, yeah, like Under the Cover in Kansas City that we did our meetup at. Flutter was one in Austin, yeah.
Which, by the way, I will be back in Austin the week of May 25th through June 1st. And I am roast battling on the 25th. Tickets will be up soon. But I feel like we could go back to Flutter and hang if you guys want to do that. So keep an eye on my Instagram and my Facebook. And I will try to announce what time once we decide on a time.
Noise.
Anywho, she obviously feels guilty about this because she immediately goes and buys Richard Gere a present and shows up to work. And is like, hi, a present for no reason. Hi, Rob Lowe's brother. Yeah, no reason.
That's why I recognized him. Holy shit. I was like, okay, I know this guy from somewhere.
It's Chad Lowe.
It is.
Chad Lowe's also been on like so many Law and Order episodes.
He is. I see. That's where I thought he was from. Because I was like, man, I know this guy's face really well, but I can't place him. It's got to be Law and Order. But yeah, that's okay.
It is also Law and Order.
Yeah.
But it is also because he's Rob Lowe's brother.
I knew it.
Yeah.
He's going to come back in one other scene where he gets fired and then doesn't just yell, well, your wife's fucking cheating on you, and then leave like I would.
Oh, yeah. Like he's the fucking Riddler where he's like, riddle me this, Batman. There is a problem in thine own house. And Richard Gere immediately is like, I knew that bitch was cheating on me. Like he's some sort of fucking psychic.
Yeah.
Anyway, she leaves. But this is where we find out the thing about Rob Lowe's brother, Chad Lowe, is that like his company's supposed to be repairing all of the armored trucks because Richard Gere works for an armored truck company because we know more about him than we do about Diane Lane's character. But they're having trouble with the suspension on their trucks. And so Chad Lowe is supposed to be taking care of that, but it's not going well.
Right. And Diane Lane comes and buys him the most like, I don't ever want to have sex with you gift again for her husband, a blue sweater.
Okay, but like, is it an I don't want to have sex with you sweater? Or is it, I'm putting you in this sweater so other women don't want to have sex with you because now I am nervous about that because I'm already cheating on you sweater?
Ooh, that's an interesting thought. I don't know, but I could see it that way too. Yeah.
Got to play 4D chess. You got to play 4D chess to get away with the murders. Anyway.
Damn, 4Ds? That's a huge bra.
Yeah, my back is in pain at all times. You want to live that triple DF life? It hurts.
I do not. No.
Anyway, so we get back to their house. She seems kind of distracted. And Richard Gere's starting to notice it. He seems like she's kind of somewhere else. She's not really thinking about it. And he asks her about the auction, and she says she talked to this one guy. We will find out she didn't.
Yeah. But he is like trying to like talk to his wife and engage with her. I think he's like even trying to help her with the dishes, and she's just like daydreaming sort of.
Yeah.
About this like lusty dude she's like wanting to bang.
Look, as someone with ADHD, I be staring off into the middle distance all the time, but it's usually just like, what if vampires showed up at Comic-Con? Like just weird movie ideas. of just like, so what if you were in the woods, but you were allergic to air? Just stupid shit.
I actually would love to see like a nerds at Comic-Con trying not to get murdered by vampires or like zombie horde or something like that. Like that would be kind of fun.
I mean, I know there's a version of that, but what you want is Scream 1 for vampires or zombies.
Yeah, that is what I want.
Yeah, which like, I hear you. I hear you, baby birds. I ain't gonna write it, but I hear you. Anyway, the next day, she goes back to his apartment with muffins, takes off her coat, and they're like dancing.
She has muffins in like a bag, just to be clear.
Yeah, a bag of muffins. Right.
She also did bring her muffin that she's about to, serve to him hot and moist.
Is your muffin buttered? Would you like us to assign someone to butter your muffin?
And she does.
I
did like that when they start dancing, she just like
drops the muffins.
No, she doesn't drop the muffins. He takes them from her and throws them on the ground.
And then he drops them and then they dance over the muffins. And I was like, not the muffins.
I know. I get sex first, sure. But like definitely muffins later. Don't destroy the muffins, guys.
Not my muffins. Not my blueberry muffins. Anyway, they're dancing and she's like, no, the CD skips and she's like, I gotta go. It like snaps her out of it.
Yeah, but like, they're gonna bone in this scene because the music they were dancing to was 12-bar blues.
Yes.
And like, you can't not in a movie if that's the music.
Right.
But I have a question about this, Paige.
All right.
I'm not sure we ever like fully see her consent in this scene, which made me feel weird about it.
Let's fucking get to it. It's very uncomfortable.
Yes.
Because at this point, they haven't done anything yet, but she's like, other than dance, and she's like, this is a mistake.
Right.
I gotta go. I can't do this.
That's when the CD skips, yeah.
Right. And he says, there's no such thing as a mistake. There's just things you do or don't do, which I agree in the sense of like the cheating, and the movie has wanted to paint it as this serendipity up until this point. But at this point, it's like, it's not a mistake. You either did it or you didn't. And that's true in this regard, right?
Yeah, I think it's true in the scene, yeah.
Right. And so then she's just like, then I gotta go. I can't do this. But she left her coat. And so she goes back to get the coat. He grabs her, kisses her. They are immediately in the bedroom. Now.
And by grabs her, you mean like picks her up and swoops her into the bedroom. Yeah.
I mean physically grabs her. Yes.
And keep that in mind when he is like, they're making out a little bit and she is like kind of pushing him off of her and like blocking his hand and like.
Yes, because we cut back and forth from her on the train, like reliving it.
Yeah.
And she has newly opened scrapes on her knees, which would imply some knee stuff happened.
Ooh, the knee stuff.
Knee stuff. But then anytime we cut back, she's repeatedly pushing him away. And he keeps moving, like he's trying to finger her and she's pushing him away.
Yeah.
And she is literally saying, she's like, no, I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't do this. And he takes her panties off.
Yeah.
And now I will say, I don't like making this distinction of there are times when she's like, I know, but then seems to like allow something to happen, but that's not consent. That's not consent. Right?
No, that's like you're to the point where you fear so much for your life that it's going to happen, but it's not consent.
It's not consent. And she's like kicking him off.
Yeah.
And then at a certain point, he stops and he's like, hit me.
Yeah.
Like, hit me. Which I think, and I would have to ask the people who made the movie, I think might be this, I hate everything I'm about to say, but I feel like this is what the movie might be getting at. There is, and I feel like I see it more in old movies and even in like the song, that Christmas song of like, Baby It's Cold Outside, this idea of like,
yeah,
I have to put up
a fight.
I have to performatively put up a fight even though I want to do this so that I can justify that. I think that's a gross trap to fall into.
Oh, yeah.
I don't like if that's what they were going for here. But it does seem that way because he's like, hit me. All right, hit me. And then the hitting turns into making out. But again, at that point, he's on top of her. So like,
yeah,
and he's bigger than her. Like she can't get away. The only indication we seem to have that she wanted this to happen and was okay with it happening is that potentially she continues.
That is not consent. And also,
Exactly.
she's like biting his shoulder, which I guess you could be like, okay, she's like into the pain stuff or something.
Or she's trying to get him to get off of him. Yes.
Or she's just trying to leave teeth marks on him in case he murders her.
Right.
Like, you don't know. Yeah. So like, I don't know.
Well, and even in the scene in the train where they're cutting back and forth and she's like reckoning with what has happened. And this is where she goes to the train bathroom and splashes train water on her coos. And you're like, no.
It's very unfortunate. I'm so sorry we had to see it. Yeah. I'm sorry Diane Lane had to shoot it.
You're going to get some sort of trench infection.
That's how you get Cuchardia.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to growing leaves out of that shit. Anyway.
The sex scene is like 90% Diane Lane's stomach, though.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's just shot like her like mid-torso.
And she's shaking.
I know.
Shaking.
Paige.
Now, obviously, the emotional stakes within the movie, she clearly was unsure if she wanted to have an affair.
Sure.
And then now it's happening.
Right.
If it's consensual, if she truly consents, which, you know, we're only seeing flashes, but let's say she does for argument's sake.
Sure. We just don't see her consent to the sex that they're having. Sure.
Right.
Great.
I don't love that, but
Me
let's
either.
say that's the case.
Right.
Then that means on the train, she's going through this emotional roller coaster of regret. I can't believe I did that. That was such a bad idea, but I loved it so much. I'm definitely going to do it again. Right. If she didn't consent, which we don't see on screen, we did not see her consent.
We do not see.
Then she's like, I've been assaulted.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Right?
Because she's crying on the train that we're watching the flashbacks
crying.
from.
And is she crying because she's grappling with the guilt of having an affair? Or is she crying because she's been assaulted and now she's like, well, it's already happened once.
Yeah.
I might as well, which is horrible. And by the way, just because you consented once doesn't mean you ever have to consent again.
Especially not like this, too. Like, this is not
like
even
this.
really... Yeah, this is terrible.
Yeah, no, that really bothered me as well.
Yeah.
I will say the rest of the scenes of them together seem to be consensual.
Yes.
But this first one, up for debate,
right.
I would say.
Yeah, I did not like it.
I did not like it at all. But she gets off at her stop. Her husband gets off after her. And he's talking to the guy that she said she talked to about the school auction. And he's like, she didn't talk to me at all. And he's like, oh, well, maybe she just talked to your wife. Sure.
Yeah.
Fine.
Maybe I just got it wrong. Which,
Right.
like, I'm sure that happens. You know, I forget shit all the time.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, I would probably say that too.
Yeah. He comes home. He's working in the home office. And he's like, hey, do you love me? And she's like, of course. Sure. So he's feeling... He can tell something's up. He just doesn't know what.
Yeah, he knows something's going on. But this is like the starting of his, like... Oh, maybe I should look into this a little bit. Or maybe something's going on.
Something's up, right?
Yeah.
Because now we dig, like with her kid's birthday party and stuff, we dig into a montage where she's like masturbating with him on the phone and like going back and forth and like they're having this kind of wild affair.
Yeah.
And this is where we see the snow globe.
Because she picks it up and then puts it back down. We don't see them
Right.
like do the gift exchange, but yeah.
Right. And then we cut to, he's taking her out to a cafe for lunch and she's like, we shouldn't be in public. Somebody's going to fucking see us. And
Yeah.
he's like, whatever, who cares? Like,
Yeah, it doesn't matter to me. I have no stakes in this. I'm not married. I'm here on furlough because my wife told me to kick me out from France.
yeah. But he makes a bet on another set of diners just down the way of like, depending on who pays, if this person pays, we leave. If this person pays, I get to kiss you in public.
Right.
That person pays, they get to kiss in public. But it turns out that person was Chad Lowe. Dun, dun, dun.
Which is her husband's employee, right?
Her husband's contractor, I would say. But still, somebody who knows her husband.
Yes. Yeah. And they have a business relationship. Like they're going to run into each other again soon. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
And we did see in the montage that at one point in one of their encounters, he drew an arrow on her hip,
Yeah.
pointing to her lady garden.
Yes.
And we cut to her at home in the tub. It seems like masturbating to like recollecting what has happened.
She's listening to 12 Bar Blues, Paige. That's exactly what
Yes.
she's doing. Yes.
Right.
You cannot be in a movie listening to 12 Bar Blues and not be getting sexy timed.
Right. And she realizes that there's an arrow, so she goes to wash it off. But who should walk in as that happens? Her husband, Richard Gere. And he's like, is there room for two in that tub? And I'm telling you now, I would kill for a giant bathtub like this.
It's a beautiful bathtub. Yeah.
I want it.
I would love a 2-person bathtub. Let's do this.
Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, we don't, not together, but like, yes, separately, we each should have 2-person bathtubs.
We are going to start podcasting from our 2-person bathtub. No water, just 2 mics. Let's go.
Yeah. Just like an ED medication commercial. Anyway, she gets out of the bathtub because he's clearly like, he gets in and is like, hey, let's have, some fun together.
He's trying to initiate, in a subtle but sexy and kind of overt way. Like, he's not trying to make it
hot.
Yeah. He's like kissing on her knee or whatever. And then
this was one of the hottest scenes for me. And then she gets out of the tub and it don't happen. Yeah.
But as he starts like kissing her leg, because she's like got her knees up, she like hands his drink to him and be like, here, have a drink.
Yeah.
And then he goes a little bit south. And that's when she gets out. She's like, I'm cold. Let's go to bed. Let's just go to bed.
Yeah. Or come to bed. Let's do this in bed.
Well, we don't see them have sex, although they might.
Yeah. She gets out. It seems like nothing happens. It seems like he's kind of left high and dry. We cut to the next day and he's like, hey, do you want to come have lunch with me today? Are you free? Like, we'll do it at like 12. And she's like, oh, no, wait, I've got a facial at 12:30. And so he goes to the office and he calls the spa and they're like, she's not booked in for a facial. And at this point, he's like, something's up.
Yeah.
She is lying to me at the very least, right?
Right.
She runs into her friends on the street and they're like, hey, come grab a coffee with us. Like, it'll just take a minute.
As she's like trying to get to him to bone him down, right?
Right. And so she and her friends, she has to like call him from the cafe and is like, I'm at the cafe down the street, but as soon as I'm done with coffee, I will come up. Like, I'll see you in just a second. They caught me. I can't let them know. Right. And then he comes down to the cafe. She excuses herself to the bathroom. And then they bang it out in the bathroom as if everyone in this small cafe couldn't hear every single second of that.
And yeah, everyone would have heard it. It's like insane that no one did, but they get away with it, kind of, I guess.
Right. Kind of. She goes back and sits at the table and her friends noticed Paul while he was there, thought he was very attractive. They're all talking about it. And one of them is like, I could have an affair with that guy. My family would never know. And then one of the other women at the table, who has clearly had an affair at some point, basically has this very short but very good, impactful monologue where she's like, yeah, I did, and it never goes right. Either, somebody catches feelings, somebody gets hurt, or you get caught and somebody gets hurt, and it doesn't matter because someone always ends up hurt. And it's the one thing I did that I wish I could undo. Yeah. And it seems like she's still married and like everything's fine, but like she's like, I'd still undo it, even though it was a long time ago. Yeah. We cut to up in the apartment where Diane Lane and Paul are, and she's like, I hope I get tired of you, or I hope one of us breaks this off so that I don't keep doing this, as if it's outside of her control. Like, girl, you're delivering the sex at this, you're showing up. All you got to do is not show up. He don't know where you live. Like, all you got to do is not show up.
Yeah. I mean, but he do.
But she do.
Yeah.
Anyway, we then cut to the garage where Chad Lowe works. And Richard Gere is like, hey, man, this contract's not working out. I got to let you go. Like, it's about loyalty. You're not coming through on your contract. And he's like, oh, you think you know about loyalty? What dost thou see in thine own house? Like, just ridiculous. Like, check your own family.
Yeah, it does get Shakespearean. You're right.
And he takes that one offhand comment, goes and hires a private detective.
Okay, but it's not just that one comment. There's like this whole suspicion thing that's been going on.
He's caught her in a couple lies. Yeah.
Yeah. It's clear his wife is doing something. I mean, I'm sure he doesn't know that his wife is banging the beast from Beauty and the Beast.
Right.
But,
yeah,
I don't think it's gotten out that he was like, caught.
He's got a guest on about what's going on.
He definitely does. But he has no idea that like the Beast got kicked out because Belle overheard him saying to the feather duster, like, how about you come fluff my pillows or whatever.
Yeah, ruffle my feathers. But we cut back to the house after he's hired this guy to follow his wife. And because Diane Lane got delayed by coffee, she's now late to come home and cooking dinner. She's trying to cook it all at once. Pots are boiling over. Chickens are burned. It's a metaphor. Everything's out of hand.
Right. And at this point, we also see Mac Dewey with the like spaghetti strainer on his head. And then his mom takes that off, puts it directly in the sink, and then pours spaghetti into it. So they're eating human and angel hair pasta. Paige.
Yes.
Gross.
Yes.
I refuse.
Yeah.
Big fan of Dewey. Still wouldn't.
They sit down to dinner, and it's a very kind of tense dinner. And Richard Gere's like, I got to go to Chicago for a couple days. And it seems like he actually does. I thought for sure he was going to like fake it and go and let the PI do the thing and then like, surprise, I'm back or whatever. But no, he actually does go to Chicago for meetings.
Yeah.
But while that's happening, she like gets all dolled up. She goes to the city. She's like, we could spend all day together. She gets like eat it out in a movie theater, just like Alanis Morissette. And then a private eye is following them, takes pictures of them. She goes back to the apartment. She falls asleep. She's not there at pickup. She gets there late to pick their son up and gets a parking ticket for leaving her car there too long. Remember the parking ticket. This is how we frame her for the murder.
I do think the cops think it's her initially.
I think they might always think it's her. Like, at the end, we have not cleared her.
That's true. I mean, at the end, nothing has happened.
Now, here's the thing. If you're a good cop, you got to wonder how a woman that small moved a body that big, which means that she's got to have some sort of accomplice. And that's why I think they're still asking Richard Gere questions. But we'll get to it.
Paige, they want me to believe Richard Gere can lift an entire body out of an elevator, that like he has to lift the body above his head.
I don't believe it.
When we see him try to climb out on his own and he can't even do that.
Right.
He would have died down there with the body in the rug. That's my point.
A hundo. Which you know what? When we get to it, we'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there.
Anyway, she's sobbing in the kitchen because I think she's at that point is like, this is disrupting my life. I got to break up with this dude.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm getting sloppy, right?
They are getting sloppy. Like they got caught fucking in a movie theater. Like that's
right.
Well, not caught because they don't know it yet, but the PI got pictures.
Right. It's not fair to remind them of the movie they missed.
When she sat on dick.
You going down.
You ought to blow, Paige, because then he can't get a picture of your face. And who knows who's having the affair with Belle's husband or whatever. What if there was a French PI in the back also taking photos like for Belle?
Oh, that'd be great. He's a sacre bleu, sir.
Zutalo, I have found him.
Yeah, Zutalo, I have found one. Anywho, he gives him his name, his address, where they normally meet, how they, like all of it, right? So she's grocery shopping and like contemplating and like goes to drive home with the groceries, but instead pulls off into the city. And is trying to call him from the cell phone, I think to either break up with him or whatever, to be like, this is our last whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, I think at this point she realizes that this is going to ruin her life at some point.
Right.
So she needs to end it, but she's struggling to because she's still in lust with this dude.
Right. And I think they're not supposed to see each other that day because she pulls up to his neighborhood and sees him with another woman, follows them into a bookstore. They get into a full slap fight because he's absolutely... When he's like, oh, that's just a friend. It's not just a friend. He's like kissing her neck and shit.
When she said that she was just a friend, I was like, oh, baby, you are the straight up beast. And you cannot hold the book because you got that stupid look. Oh, beastie, you
struggle to read. Apparently it's because of the claws.
But Belle left, you got flaws.
Anyway, they go back to the apartment and he's like, why don't you just go the fuck back to the suburbs, you fucking old lady? Like, he's mean. At this point, I'm like, dump him. Like, what are we doing? Why are we entertaining this at all? But no, they have like hate sex. They hate fuck each other. But in this scene, they do have consent.
Yeah.
Because he's like, tell me you want me to fuck you. And she's like, I want you to fuck. Like, clear consent.
They have consent, but they're in the hallway.
Hey, what's a hallway if not a long room?
I mean, you're not wrong. I'm just saying that's a risky move. And that could be part of it for them. Like, that's a kink, right?
I mean, they did the movie theater, so like maybe.
Oh, they have sex in a few public places. Yeah.
Yeah.
The bathroom at the diner?
The bathroom at the diner. Yeah. No, they public people.
Like literally said earlier, they should have just gone to Spring Awakenings.
Yeah.
Because like they show it to everybody.
Everybody. But we cut up into the apartment. She's getting ready to leave. Paul looks out the window and sees Richard Gere in the street. But because this is before Instagram, he doesn't know that Richard Gere is her husband.
Right.
Because now he would have absolutely stalked that guy and would have been like, "Whoo, I'm lucky this isn't an airport." Like, that's what it would have been like.
Holy shit, Paige. Holy shit. I am so sorry. That really got me. Oh, okay. Wow. Okay. But Paige, yes, you're not wrong. He would have had like a wanted poster inside his like house with a sign that says "Do not open door if in peephole" or something like that for sure. Yes.
Right. But instead, Richard Gere kind of walks to the other side of the street like he's going to leave. While he's doing that, Diane Lane comes out.
Yeah.
And he then is like, "No, I'm not going to leave. I'm going to try and get in there." The door's locked, but then a guy comes out of the door, which allows him to get in. He gets in. He goes up to the apartment.
It's all fate, Paige. That's what it is.
It's all fate. But again, this is the most interesting part of this movie.
This scene?
Yes.
It's an interesting scene, man. It's very, like, it's cool, man.
They have this very calm, initially, discussion of like, "She told you about me. How'd you know?" And to be honest, I think if he had not found the snow globe, I think this probably would have resolved kind of calmly, that he might have just left and maybe broken up with her. I don't know. He does eye the knife on the counter.
He doesn't. Richard Gere doesn't.
Right.
Paul does, as he's getting the vodka, I think, out of the freezer.
Yeah.
And they like share 2 shots of vodka, more or less. They're like drinking it as they're talking. And it's like, it is a very interesting scene because Paul is being very honest about everything.
Yes, and not in a mean way, if that makes sense.
No, not like in a throwing it in his face, just being like, "Hey,
just honest."
Yes, here is what is happening. I'll be honest with you, kind of. Not nice because he's a part of the affair or whatever, but like he's not throwing it in his face like, "Yo, I fucked your wife."
Well, and I think it's an interesting distinction that the movie makes because like at a certain point, is it shitty to be involved with someone that you know is involved with somebody else and you know that that person's not aware? Yes, that is shitty.
Yes.
But is it the same amount of shitty as the person who knows that they should be faithful to someone deliberately not being faithful to someone?
I don't necessarily think so, but it's still bad. It's bad.
I make the distinction that I feel like the responsibility is more on the person that is in the relationship to not enter into relationships like this.
Yeah, guys, just break up with someone if you don't want to be with them.
Right?
Like, yeah. But yeah, I kind of agree, but like it's both bad. Like they're both bad.
They're both bad, but he's not married to Richard Gere, right? So like, I do like that this movie gives them a moment of like calm conversation, but then Richard Gere sees the snow globe and he gets it to play a song and Paul's like, "Oh, I didn't even know it did that. She bought it for me. I don't know why." And he's like, she didn't buy it for you. I gave this to her.
That broke my heart. Oh.
At this point, I was like, this poor man, I feel so bad for him.
Yeah.
Like if the movie ended here, she is a super villain.
Yeah.
Like that's one of the cruelest things I've ever seen. Unfortunately, the movie doesn't end here.
There's like 30 more minutes of movie.
There's like 30 more minutes of movie, although not much happens in those 30 minutes. But
that's true.
Richard Gere freaks out, goes into like a fugue state.
Yeah.
Smashes that guy's head with the snow globe. Paul is now dead or about to die, bleeding out on the floor.
He's dying.
Yeah. And this is where Richard Gere starts to fucking fuck up because homie makes every single wrong choice. I'm going to lay out what he does, and then I'm going to tell you what he should have been doing.
Welcome back to Unfaithful Files.
Snapped on IE. So he hits him with the snow globe. Fit of passion.
Right.
Ain't no coming back from this. Can't even call 911.
Nope.
He dead.
Right. I mean, honestly, you can call 911 and probably get off with like a, whatever like murder 2 is, or like
involuntary manslaughter.
Probably.
Well, because you did it, you hit him anyway.
I mean, it would be murder, I would assume, but like the
you
lowest
see in jail
grade
time.
of murder. Yeah. You're definitely going to jail.
Yeah.
But it's like the lower end of murder.
I think it's murder 1 instead of murder 2 because murder 2 I think is premeditated.
I think murder, shit. I honestly don't know. And I think it does vary state to state. So I don't want to like guess, but it is like the lower grade of murder. And I think some places don't even have that. I think some places murder is just murder.
I'm pulling it up right now. First degree murder is generally defined by premeditation and deliberation. So it would be in the second degree.
Yeah, okay.
Second degree involves intentional killing that is not premeditated or planned, but still shows malice aforethought.
I don't even think this would be that. This is a red ball for sure in Minority Report. It is like a heat of passion sort of moment.
Malice aforethought is different than premeditation. It could be a crime of passion in the moment because before you hit somebody, you had malice. You were like, oh God. So it's not an accidental death.
I mean, he is maliced up for sure.
Right. So yes, this would be second degree, at least under America's laws. Anyway, so second degree murder. And there's blood everywhere because if you hit somebody in the head, they gonna bleed out. It's going to be a lot. It's all over his books. It's all over the floor. It's all over everything. Richard Gere, first of all, tries to call people. Why you touching shit?
He starts to dial 911 page.
Yes.
I think he was like about to turn himself in and just own up to it and like throw himself at the mercy of the court. And he would have gotten jail time, but I do think it would have been way less than like if he gets caught later on. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Because if you try to hide it, they do go a little harsher on sentencing.
But if you're like, oh my God, I did this terrible, terrible thing. I'm so sorry. Like, please come get me. Like,
You're still getting like 20 years.
You're definitely getting jail time. Yeah.
Yeah. You're still getting a fuckload of time anyway.
Yeah.
So he puts the phone back down. He's going to try and hide it. So he gets the snow globe. He washes that off. He tries to clean the floors. Super mistake. He puts the body in a rug. He duct tapes the rug up. He puts all the bloody books in with the rug, which means it's even heavier. And then he drags that rug into the freight elevator, which he doesn't know how to operate. And he almost gets trapped in. He has to like lift the body onto a floor because it ends up between floors. Then he has to climb up. Then he carries the body outside into the trunk of his car in broad ass daylight. He then drives that car.
A man offers to help him. Like there's definitely at least one witness of this body movement.
At least one witness.
Yeah.
He drives the car to his son's play, where he then goes to the bathroom of this school and tries to wash off his bloody clothes and change. He then gets back in the car after the play, which by the way, they sit in the play and they snuggle up and the movie treats it like it's this romantic moment.
It does want us to feel that way, but I did not feel that way.
No, huge red flags.
The snow globe reveal also is supposed to be like a moment where you're like, oh my God, he loves her so much.
No.
But because he just murdered somebody, you're like, oh my God, she'll never be safe again. Like it's
never.
It's not like a romantic thing at all.
At all. So then as they're leaving the play, he gets rear-ended. The trunk pops open. He scrambles. He gets it closed.
I forgot about this. That actually made me laugh.
I laughed so hard.
Because it felt like it was a Malcolm in the Middle bit for this movie, you know?
Yes, but on Malcolm in the Middle, it would just be Hal hiding something weird from his wife.
Right.
Anyway, so he then leaves at night, drives this body to the dumps. Mind you, they live in Long Island. There's an active serial killer who just be dumping dismembered bodies on the beach and they ain't solving none of those shits. No, he takes it to the dump where he's sure someone's going to find it. And there's probably cameras that caught his car.
Even in 2002, because that's like a government facility.
And people dump bodies at the dump all the time. It's the worst place to dump a body. Anyway, he dumps the body. They find it. Let's rewind to how this should have happened.
Welcome back to If I Did It. By Paige Wesley.
Here's how you get away with this murder. He hits him on the head with snow globe. Crime of passion. Nothing you could do about it. There's blood everywhere.
There's blood all over that picture he hid in it too, for the record.
100%.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing to remember about crimes. First and foremost, this was not a very loud crime.
No.
It's unlikely anyone has heard it, which means that no one outside of that apartment is aware that this crime has taken place period.
Yeah, you've got time.
You've got time.
Like the Orange is the New Black theme song says, you've got time.
You've got time. You have a murder weapon that is easily destroyable.
Yes.
We will find out later that he probably keeps it for sentimental reasons, but
Paige, just call him an idiot. He keeps it because he's an idiot.
he's an idiot. But even if you want to keep it, you could wash this murder weapon off. You shouldn't. You should get rid of it, but we'll get to that in a second.
Yeah, sure.
So right now, he is in an apartment, a dusty, dirty apartment full of books with a man who seems to not have an established social calendar in his home, alone all day. The only person who he seems to interact with on a regular scheduled basis is who?
His wife.
Now, he hasn't touched anything else in this house yet. He sat on the bed, but he's probably fine to not leave any DNA on the bed. They're probably not going to be able to pull prints off that. The only thing they could pull prints off of is the highball glass.
Paige, you know whose DNA they are going to find on the bed?
Yeah, his wife.
Yeah.
Duh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're probably going to find the beast's DNA all over the sofa and the dresser and all that stuff because I think that's why Belle kicked him out. I think he was sleeping with the servants there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just like J.D. Vance does.
Hey.
In his Kentucky or West Virginia palace.
Ugh. So the only thing he's touched is the glass and the snow globe.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Definitely take the snow globe with you because we're going to dispose of it later. Take 2 glasses. The one you used, the one he used. Take them both. Because you know what? Glasses come in even numbers. Never leave an odd number of glasses because then they'll be like, why is one missing? Take both.
Yeah, there's not a monocle for glasses, guys.
I mean, there is, but that's one of the things that they would look at is that's a little weird that there's only one, right?
Right.
So now you're Richard Gere. You've got a snow globe that you've washed off potentially, but you shouldn't wash it off in the apartment.
I mean, we do see him wash it off in the apartment.
You shouldn't. That's a bad idea.
I agree. He should have just destroyed it and thrown it into the dunes.
No, he's got to take it with him. Hear me out, Todd. First of all, you shouldn't move the body or touch it at all. Don't try to clean up any blood. Just hope that in the blood spurt, your body was not blocking anything to give shapes in the blood spatter.
Right. And it does, and you don't get your shoe prints in it and stuff like that.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Maybe take your shoes off if it got on your shoes, because if you try to clean it, you're never going to clean all of it. And the place is going to smell like bleach. So the second anybody goes there, bleach central, right?
Yeah.
You're going to take the snow globe. You're going to take those 2 glasses. You're going to, if you notice that your wife's name is on the blotter, you could take it, but you could also leave it and frame her. And then you're going to take Paul's house keys. You're going to leave. You're going to lock the apartment. And you are going to drive at least a few miles away and dispose of all of those items somewhere fucking else.
Yeah.
Because then here is what's going to happen. At best, someone discovers Paul a day later, at which point his decomp might be obscuring some of the wounds. At worst, because your wife is breaking up with him and you know that because there's an answering message that you could just leave there and frame her.
Yeah.
At worst, she's the only one who sees him, which means if you've got a couple days of decomp, that makes it even harder for them to find you. As far as they know, he fell in $1 Million Baby his own head because all they have are missing pieces and questions, and the only answers they got are who? Your cheating fucking wife. And she's not going to know it's you because you know what you didn't bring home? The fucking snow globe.
The murder weapon, Paige. You can call it the murder weapon.
The murder weapon. And then you burn the photos you got from the PI. In fact, you should have requested the film strips from that PI as well if he's willing to give them to you. But if you really want to get away with this murder, you got to kill that PI as well.
You got to kill the PI. God, that's brutal. That's like Home Alone PI brutal.
Or pay him off. But the PI is a problem. Ideally, you want to solve this without a PI. But all I'm saying is, if there's no sign you were there, they can't get you. And anytime you move a body, the more time you spend touching his shit, are more places they can catch you. So take the few things you touched, let it look like an accident, lock him in there so that it's harder for them to get in. And when they eventually find his body, who's to say it wasn't an accident?
Not me.
Todd, am I wrong?
No, I mean, I'm sure that would definitely work. I mean, police at this time were doing great. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
Because the Long Island serial killer was active during this time. And I'll say, if he had thrown Paul into the dunes, he probably would have got away with it.
Probably.
Although that's a different type of killer, because
yes,
it would be a guy and not the women.
Process killer.
Right. Yeah. So, but I mean, the cops would have just been like, well, it's another murder. It's fine.
A pool of blood. Gross.
Yeah. Clean it up.
Yeah. Now at this point, and this is I have in my notes, because everyone's like, does she like this neighborhood? Maybe she'd like the suburbs better. Should we move to the city? And I was like, is this just a murderous episode of House Hunters? This is nonsense.
Well, my wife's a stay-at-home mom, and I'm a murderer. Our budget is $8 million.
But he comes home, and she's like, are you okay? You were out all night. And he's like, yeah, don't worry about it. And he's reliving the murder and shit. But while he's at work, they come to her house, and they're like, hey, his ex-wife reported him missing. And I do love the surprise on her face of that fucker was married. I do love that.
But the guy says separated.
Separated.
Which okay, if they're separated, that's fine, right? They're separated. They're moving towards divorce. They're living separately. That's separated.
Fair game. But they come to ask her hey, your name and phone number was here. How'd you know him? Now, here's the thing that could ruin your plan if you're trying to frame her.
Okay.
If she says, please don't tell my husband we were having an affair. Is everything all right? Is he okay? The last time I saw him. If she just cooperates, now you're suspect number one if they can prove that you knew. Which means that if you are trying to frame her, that's when they question you, you have to be like, was my wife having an affair? You did not know.
Oh, yeah. You've got to turn on the waterworks. Yeah.
Right? Anyway, she lies because for some reason in her mind, having an affair equates to accomplice. She ditches the book. She ditches everything she has of his. And later that night, they're at what looks like a Chuck E. Cheese or something. And Dewey's like, hey, the cops came today. And Richard Gere is like, the fuck were the cops there for? And she's like, oh, this guy was missing. He was like, huh.
Weird.
We cut to them having a family dinner. The dumps are being steamrolled. They find that body.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Now it's not missing. It's murdered. So the cops come back and they're like, how exactly did you know him? Trying to get her to admit that she's having an affair. They fully know she's having an affair. She has a parking ticket outside the house. She is lying.
They already know at this point, I assume, because they probably pulled all of that before they even went to see her.
They probably pulled the sheets. Yeah, they know. Now, I think what they're trying to figure out is, did her husband know? And he's like, no, I didn't know him. And if he had played it more dumb of oh, I didn't know. This is one of your friends. Are you okay? I'm so sorry to hear. Yeah. Right?
Were you guys close? What? Yeah.
Were you guys close? I'm so sorry. But no. And so at this point, she's starting to suspect something's up, right?
What he should have done is when he saw the photo, just look over at her and be like, what did you do?
Yes. You fucking duplicitous whore. I can't believe I've been married to this tramp. That's what you need. Throw it at her. I don't know. But if you want to be honestly, that's pure villain at that point.
But everyone in this movie is bad. There's nobody good in this movie. I honestly think Diane Keaton's one of the better ones.
Right.
Fucking her husband's a murderer.
Anyway, she now is like, he's reacting weird to this, right? She goes to take the dry cleaning in. She finds the photos from the PI and she's like, oh, he knew about the affair.
Yeah.
So now she's starting to suspect, why is he lying about it, right? So they have a dinner party with all their friends, and one of their friends is looking at the snow globes, and she finds the snow globe because he put it back.
The reveal is such a 90s horror movie, though, because they pick up a snow globe, and then she realizes the one behind it.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh my God, that's the one I gave my lover.
Which they should cut to her cleaning up the party at the end of the night quietly, and he just appears in a doorway behind her are you coming to bed? And cut.
Yeah, lunge, and then cut to black.
Fucking terror.
Yeah.
Yes, right?
Nothing scarier.
No, she confronts him, and she's just like, what did you do? Why'd you hurt him? Or whatever. And he's like, oh yeah, well, you were fucking him.
Yeah.
As if that's at all the same.
Right. He literally says to her, though, I didn't want to kill him. I want to kill you.
Right.
And then she's just like, well, I guess this is my fault. And she doesn't immediately then run out of the home. Like,
right.
He just said he wants to kill you.
He wants to kill you. So then we cut to them just like living their lives, like just waiting it out. They hear sirens. They get nervous. The sirens die down. Right. And it's supposed to be this like, she opens the snow globe and finds this like note about them and their 25th anniversary. And again, it's supposed to be heartwarming. And I'm like, he's a murderer.
He is a murderer.
He is a murderer.
Yeah, it's really scary.
She then burns all the photos and she's reliving that first Breeze cute.
Yeah.
Where he's like, well, I'm not an axe murderer. And I was like, we're not litigating that now, buddy. But it's almost like she replays it as if she had never done it. Almost like burning the pictures absolves her. It don't. It still happened. Dude's still murdered. They go to the school auction that she's been planning.
I honestly thought that like flashback where she's reliving it differently was actually her like thinking through what her alibi would be.
Oh, yeah.
Or it could have been her wishing too, but like as she's burning the photos, that then sort of does destroy all the evidence she thinks they have that tie them together.
Right.
So I think that was just her like practicing her alibi in her head.
I mean, hey, you got to keep your head on a swivel if you want to stay free.
Yeah.
So we then cut to the end of this movie where Dewey's asleep in the backseat. They're seated at an intersection. The lights are turning red and green as if they're about to be hit by a semi-truck or do a mist.
Honestly, if they had this conversation that they're about to have and then it cuts to the shot where they're in front of the police station, you know, from like way behind, and then you just see 3 pops.
Gunshots.
And then it's like credits, I'd have lost my mind.
I would have paced in and screamed even harder. But instead they have a conversation where they're like, we could escape. We could go to Mexico. We could just start over. And he's like, yeah, maybe. And they kind of like plan it out. But then we pull back, reveal that there's no other cars around them. So they're just sitting at the stoplight in front of the police station. I was like, you're going to get pulled over.
Yeah, because they're fully in the street, just not moving. You're right.
Just in the street, right? The movie ends almost to be like, what do you think they did?
I hate movies like this. But, and that's the movie. It's like the first Italian Job where you're like, well, I guess they're just still stuck on the cliff forever because you couldn't think of a good ending.
I don't remember that.
It's the gold heist. They steal the gold and then they get into a crash. And it's like it ends with the gold teetering on one side, like over the edge of the mountain, and them on the other. And if they go towards the gold, they'll die.
Okay.
And then credits. Because filmmakers like this hate me, and I do not like it. And I need the movie to end. I need you to end your movies, guys. I need the end of the movie.
Yes.
But Paige, having seen the movie, having talked about the movie, what did you think about Unfaithful?
Oh my God. I could scream about this movie for years.
We screamed about it a lot.
A lot.
There's a lot wrong with the movie. I mean, a lot wrong with the movie.
Sure. I don't think this is one of those movies that people, like, it's not known for being bad, but it's so weird. Like, there's so many crazy choices in this movie that just, like, they're inexplicable. You just find yourself asking why for most of this movie.
Why do you put Richard Gere with the body in a carpet down an elevator that he's stuck in, only to reveal he got out fine and is now moving it to the car? Also with no consequence. Like, it just, why even do that?
Right.
Like, there's no reason. It's not even like, there's no part of the story that serves. It just felt weird. And there's like a bunch of stuff like that. Oh, and everyone's unlikable.
Yeah.
Because they're doing terrible shit. And if they're not involved in an affair, they're murdering one of the affair partners.
Right.
Like, there's nobody good. I guess Dewey's good, but Dewey's going to be in a lot of therapy, hopefully, and foster parents that hopefully are good.
Boop, beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop.
Oh my God, if it's revealed that
those are his foster parents?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Paige, Dewey only exists in the Malcolm in the Middle universe because Richard Gere, who is his father, murdered the beast and went to jail.
I still want the Malcolm in the Middle version of this movie.
Oh yeah, just shot, for sure.
Yep.
I'm here for it, Paige.
Yes.
But Paige, do you have any fun facts for us?
I do.
Well, here it is with your fun facts.
Unfaithful fun facts. According to Diane Lane, she herniated her neck during the kissing scene, that initial sex scene with Olivier Martinez. She said they must have done 50 takes. Now, speaking of that first sex scene, the one that we had questions about the consent, when she rides the train home and they're like intercutting those with the sex scenes.
And she's like crying?
Yeah, she filmed that entire train scene in one take for all of the ranges of emotions. So she did that all in one continuous take and then they cut it, which means that like she was on the train like, just like.
But all in one take. Yeah.
All in one take.
That's insane.
Fucking craziest shit to see. So despite the film implies an age gap between the two of them, Diane Lane was only just a year older than Olivier Martinez when they filmed this.
Yeah, even in the movie, it's played like she might be 40 and he's 28 or almost 28, which is
right.
That is older, but it's not like last week where he was like 25 and she was 55.
Right. Now, originally, Paul wasn't French.
Was he Topher Grace?
No, but it was Ryan Phillippe or Brad Pitt. They were both offered the role.
In 2002? Oh, come on. 2002?
Oh, that would be hot as fuck, right?
Yes. But here's the deal. It's got to be Brad Pitt and he's got to be playing it French.
No, play it Italian. Buongiorno.
No, Paige. No, you're thinking languages. I'm thinking he's got to be playing it as French Stewart from the time.
just squinting like crazy.
That's what I always mean when I say, yeah, do it again, but play it French.
Play it French. Anyway, in pre-production, they decided that Paul should be French rather than American, and that's why they cast Olivier Martinez.
Okay.
Now, Adrian Lyne, who directed this movie, also directed the 1987 thriller Fatal Attraction. And to prepare his stars for this movie, he had a screening of it for them to watch.
Okay.
Basically, the very famous sex scene between Michael Douglas and Glenn Close. So that he screened that and a couple other films at the same time.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, he also says that during that first scene, it was editor Ann Coates who came up with the idea of intercutting the emotional train journey as opposed to just playing it full through. They said they found it remarkable how it kind of creates a range of guilt, pleasure, and anxiety. So their intended option was guilt, pleasure, and anxiety as opposed to assault. I just don't think they land that plane great because of the nebulous nature of that sex scene that they're intercutting.
I think if there's clear consent, it would have read that way to me.
Right, but there's not.
Right.
Yeah. Now, as for Richard Gere's role, they also offered it to George Clooney, Johnny Depp, Robert Redford, John Travolta, and Bruce Willis before settling on Richard Gere.
Okay. All right. I mean, I like Richard Gere in it, but I would have really enjoyed like a...
Evil George Clooney?
Yeah.
Sign me up.
Yeah.
Sign me up, right?
Yeah.
Meg Ryan was the original choice to play Diane Lane's role.
Okay.
But at a certain point, they had actually cast Alyssa Milano.
Really?
But she had to turn the role down due to the TV series Charmed.
Oh, my God. Okay, nice.
So then they pivoted to their next few choices. They offered it to Jodie Foster, but she instead chose Panic Room in 2002.
Ooh, that's a good movie, though.
That is a good movie. They offered it to Kristen Davis of Sex and the City, but because of Sex and the City's filming schedule, she couldn't take it. I think she would have been great in this as well.
Probably.
They then offered it to Portia de Rossi, Kira Sedgwick, Brooke Shields, Hilary Swank, Heather Graham, Uma Thurman, Kate Winslet, Tori Spelling, Josie Davis, and Angelina Jolie.
Good Lord. That's like everybody.
Yeah. The only person that allegedly the director turned down was Jennifer Jason Leigh, although I think she would have probably done great.
Sure.
Fine. But like ultimately they lost out to Diane Lane. And I will say that this movie marked like the Diane Lane-assance where like she had a huge resurgence after this movie came out.
I mean, she's beautiful in it, man. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. Gorgeous.
And honestly, a great performance from her and Richard Gere and Paul, you know.
Yeah. Well, and this is technically a remake of a French film, although there are differences technically. I think it kind of stands on its own. But Sarah Michelle Gellar was also allegedly offered the role, but had to turn it down for her conflicts with Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yep.
So, like, the CW was really fucking up this guy's casting choices.
Oh, yeah. Like, the fact that they wanted to cast so many CW people who are all way too young for this role. And then Jennifer Lopez also passed on it, who would have also been too young at the time. Like, Diane Lane is the better casting choice for it. Meg Ryan would have worked too.
Yeah, because she's a little bit older, too. Yeah, she's not, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This also inspired a Bollywood film in 2004, just a couple years later, called Bollywood Film Murder.
I love Bollywood. I honestly just want to watch how they dance through their credits.
Yes.
Does he, like, lead a dance of the town into the police station at the end of that one?
God, I hope so, right? Eric Pursullivan, who played Dewey in Malcolm in the Middle, and her son in this, and Diane Lane's son in this movie, shares something with his brother Frankie Muniz from Malcolm in the Middle, because Diane Lane also played his mother in My Dog Skip, literally just a year or so after this.
That's awesome.
So now I will spoil something for you. There's an alternate ending.
You mean, Paige, there is an ending?
Yes.
Because this movie, this is not an ending.
Yes. The special edition DVD features an alternate ending where there's different dialogue after they kiss in the car. Richard Gere's character then steps out of the car before walking up and entering the police station.
Okay.
The studios wanted this ending because it's a more Hollywood ending, but the director and cast insisted that they put in the current ending that's seen in the theatrical release, leaving it up to the audience to decide. And those are your fun facts.
Man. Well, thank you for those fun facts, Paige. Let's talk a wee bit about box office. I don't know. That was not French, but it was something. And Paige, this movie came out in 2002. What do you think the budget was for Unfaithful?
I mean, these are big stars. The director of Fatal Attraction, they're filming on location in New York, or at least on soundstage that looks like New York. I'm going to say that this cost them at least $35 million.
Paige, this cost $50 million to make.
Jesus Christ. Somebody was embezzling money, but okay. All right.
I mean, it may have been Richard Gere and Diane Lane. I don't know.
It could have been. Richard Gere was very famous at the time. Like,
yeah,
there are reasons it might be that high, sure.
Yeah, I think it was just like the paychecks of it all.
That's still super high, but fine.
Paige, that's $88.8 million today. That's a lot of, that's a lot of budget. That's a lot of budget.
That's Marvel money. That's fucking nuts. That's, Todd, Sinners cost 90. Like, that's how fucking absurd that is.
That's this much, more or less. Yeah.
That's this much. That's crazy. Fucking nuts. Anyway.
But speaking of Marvel money, the number one movie the weekend this came out, and that was the weekend of May 10th, 2002, was Spider-Man.
Oh, that's actually Sony money.
Well, it is now back in the Marvel oeuvre, right?
Yes and no. At the time, Marvel didn't own it. There was no Marvel universe at the time, but...
No, I mean, it was a Sony movie at the time.
Yeah. And they own portions of Spider-Man. But Sony still owns the right to make Spider-Man movies, which is why they make things like Kraven the Hunter and Morbius, because even if it's a Spider-Man villain, it allows them to keep the option. It's a whole thing. Yeah.
We should have a shot-for-shot remake of Spider-Man, but it's Topher Grace playing it as French Stewart, as Spider-Man. Anyway, Paige, the number 2 movie that weekend was Unfaithful. It came in second the weekend it came out.
Oh, yeah. This made money.
Well, we'll talk about that. Number 3 was The New Guy. Number 4 was Paige's favorite movie ever, The Scorpion King.
My mom and I saw Scorpion King that weekend.
Well, it had been out for 4 weeks, so unless you were seeing it for the 4th time, I doubt it.
Well, we didn't see it opening weekend, but
okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. The word had to get around about the shoulders.
No, we waited for my sister and my dad to be out of town, and then we had mother-daughter bonding time and went and saw Scorpion King and The Sum of All Fears.
I like Tom Clancy, too. I get it. But Paige, number 5 was Changing Lanes. Oddly enough, another movie that you mentioned earlier in Fun Facts, Panic Room, was also in theaters, but it was 9th this week, although it had been out for 7 weeks.
It had been out for a long time, yeah.
Yeah, but Paige, what do you think this movie being Unfaithful, obviously, made in its opening weekend where it was second to Spider-Man?
See, here's the thing. I'm thinking Spider-Man took most of that market share because the Sony Spider-Mans back in the day, these are the Tobey Maguire Spider-Mans.
Yep.
And this is the first one?
It is the first one, Paige.
That made fucking bank.
This was its second weekend.
Oh, yeah, no.
And by the end of it, it had brought in $223 million. By the end of its second weekend. And this is 2002, so that's just almost $400 million in 2 weekends.
Yeah. That means that if you're number 2, that means you basically got yeeted off a cliff this weekend.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say they made $12 million.
You're close. It was $14 million. Yeah, $14 million that weekend. This was in theaters for a total of 14 weeks. It was in the top 5 for its first 2 weeks. Its third week, it fell to 7th. Fourth week, it fell to 9th. Then it was in the 11th position, its 5th week, and then fell pretty quickly out of out of like any sort of like high number ranking, but was in theaters for a total of 14 weeks. But what do you think it made in its 14-week run in 2002? And let's just do domestically first, because it did get an international release.
Okay, domestically in 2002, I think this maybe made $37 million.
Did a little bit better. It did $52 million, so a little bit more than the budget for the movie, 52.7 to be exact. But it did make 66.3 internationally, so it actually did bring in $119.1 million worldwide. So it definitely made money. I mean, if you adjust that for inflation, that would be $211.7 million today. So it probably didn't make as much as they had hoped because of, the director it was and the stars that were in it. But
I still can't believe they spent $50 million on this, but sure.
I think it was for the star power, I think they were going for another like Fatal Attraction sort of thing,
Yeah.
But they didn't quite get there, and the box office showed that, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely.
But they were still profitable. It still made money, so I'm sure they were happy with it ultimately. But anyway, that's your box office. Paige, you want to hit us with that romance scale?
Sure. Our romance scale is a scale of 1 to 4 of how romantic we found this movie, Todd.
I'm giving it a 1. Like, it's not romantic to me because it's just an affair.
Yeah, I'm more into the murder part of this movie.
On a romantic level?
Oh, yeah, I'm romantically attracted to the murder.
Yo, I would fuck that murder. That's what Paige just said.
Fuck that murder. Okay, on the lion roar scale, I'm still giving this a 1.
Honestly, the hottest shot is when you can see her perspiring a little bit as he's taking off her jacket, which, if that's the hottest shot in your movie, it's not a super sexy movie.
No, I mean, I'd say that's a very well done shot for what they're trying to do, but...
It is, and it's sexy. Yeah. But she's fully clothed. They're not even romantically involved yet. There's no one being tied down while someone else in the room performs fellatio on them, and then we hear a literal lion roar like Paige.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's nothing like that in this.
And that's your romance and roar scales.
Yes. Now, Paige, this week I made you watch Unfaithful. What are you going to make us watch next week? I think, and we did talk about this, although we haven't mentioned it, I think we're going to do like an erotic thriller kind of vibe for a bit, guys.
For a bit. And we don't need to necessarily put a time limit on it. We might space it out.
Yeah.
But let's do another one for next week. Now, Todd, I have a list.
I have a list too. Yeah.
And there are 3 that I'm thinking of.
Okay.
So I'm going to ask you, do you want to do the erotic thriller by which all other erotic thrillers are measured up to? Or an erotic thriller that came out last year that is very different from any of the erotic thrillers we've done? Or do you want to do the erotic thriller in which we accidentally get to see an A-list actor's dong?
Well, all of those sound incredibly enticing, but if we're going to do this right, I think maybe we should go back to the original. And I honestly don't know what that could... Is it like the 1930s Nosferatu? Like, what are we doing?
No. We're going to 1987's Fatal Attraction.
Oh, okay, yeah. I mean, that's definitely where we should start, for sure. I haven't seen it. Have you seen it?
I've seen clips. I've never seen the whole thing all the way through. So this will be new for both of us.
All right. Well, that's your homework for next week, is to watch Fatal Attraction, featuring Michael Douglas and Glenn Close, which...
Yes. It's a classic for a reason. I think I'm going to like it. I'm actually very excited.
Well, and they're both amazing actors.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm not surprised at all by that. Anyway, so that's your homework for next week, guys.
Hey, Todd, do you have any reviews for us?
I do. This week, I'm going to read one of our Spotify comments from our Baby Girl episode that literally
Baby Girl
just came out today. And there have been a lot of comments about... a lot of them were just like in the realm of, oh my God, this movie was bananas crazy. Like that sort of thing.
Yes.
Which Riley said on Spotify. But I'm going to say, I'm going to read this one. And this is from Sushi Roll. And they say, and by the way, Sushi Roll is like the jelly roll for people who gave up seafood.
I was thinking more of like a dance, but go ahead.
Oh, come on, do the sushi roll. Let's do the sushi roll. Yeah, I love that actually. Then you can sashimi slide, sashimi slide. Okay, my brain is broken, chat, and I apologize.
Yep.
But Sushi Roll says, So glad the pod watched this movie so I don't have to.
There you go. That's a good way to think about it.
I enjoyed yelling about that movie. I did not enjoy that movie.
I mean, I got many messages today from people being like, thank you for actually discussing this movie instead of just making fun of it. And
yeah, we did.
I just turned father figure up louder and danced around my house.
We did both, I think, because we made fun of it quite a bit. All I have to say about Baby Girl is woof.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I got a cookie. You want one?
No. But Paige.
Yes.
If you want to have me read your Spotify comment and or 5-star Apple review, leave us one of those things and I'll do just that. So yeah, if you guys like this show and want to hear our other show where we talk about horror movies, that is The Horror Virgin. That's the only other podcast I am on, but Paige is also on Cult Podcast, which you can find at Cult Podcast. And you can find us on social media. I am at Todd J. Awesome, literally everywhere. Paige is at Paige Wesley on Instagram.
No, it's at Rampage Wesley on Instagram and TikTok, at Paige Wesley on Twitter.
That's right. All right. So that's where you can find Paige. If you want to find the show, we are at Romancing the Pod Show, right?
Yep. Romancing Pod Show on Twitter.
Well, and Instagram, right?
And Instagram, but it's show SHO because character limits. If you start typing Romancing the Pod, it'll come up.
It'll definitely come up on Instagram. I don't know about Twitter because I haven't posted on Twitter in a hot ass minute. So who knows? But that is where you can find more of us. So yeah, guys, give us a follow. Support the show any way you can. We'd love it.
Smash that like button.
Hell yeah.
And that's going to be it for us, you guys. I'm Paige.
And I'm Todd.
And you complete us.
To a fair pletion.
Ooh. I could have gotten away with this murder.
Bye. I'm trapped inside a podcast with the murderer nerds.
You're on this podcast with me.